Thank you very much indeed. I'm extremely pleased and honored to be invited to this conference and share the stage with so many eminent scientists, politicians, and people who are so interested in really fighting the big climate changes. I will speak more about the Arctic because Denmark is the Kingdom of Denmark, and Greenland is really the big part of that. And we all know that Greenland, if it's melting, the ice cap is melting, it will have really dire consequences across the globe. So in that context, it's so important that we deal with these issues. And, you know, it's not just about the melting ice, it's also about the human behavior, how we treat plastic, as the honorable member of the House of Commons, James Gray, mentioned. I'm pretty sure that we also have to deal with our mindset. It's a personal responsibility, and we might feel safe sitting in Delhi or in Copenhagen or even in London or in Oslo or wherever we are and saying, okay, this is not really our issue and we have a good life despite COVID and all that, but still we have a good life. But we have a huge individual responsibility. So we are not really off the hook, so to say. The hook is getting stronger and more sharp day by day. And we have seen so many scientific reports that is they are highlighting all the consequences that we will face. Let me say that, of course, Denmark and the Kingdom of Denmark, we are very keen to secure that the Arctic is developing peacefully. And it's a low situation where tensions are not increased and so forth. On the other side, we have also to take note of the fact that the ice is melting, the temperatures are rising and so forth, and that will open naturally for some economic activities. But we still have to secure that it's done in an environmentally friendly and balanced way. Yesterday, the Danish Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of India had a virtual summit. And the outcome of this virtual summit was the adoption of what we call a Green Strategic Partnership. And that is really to combine the scale of India, the skills of Denmark, the scope, as well as the speed. And in that context, the discussion between the two prime ministers also alluded to the fact that if the ice is melting in the Arctic, and that will be the same for Antarctica, it will have a direct impact on India, Bangladesh, and so forth. So when things are going the wrong direction, it will hit all of us. So this strategic partnership, which is the first of its kind in the world, is also aiming at really combining our skills and the scale so we can have true impact on the climate changes. We cannot allow the climate to go mad. We have to take action, and that's why we agreed with the Indian side to launch this Green Strategic Partnership. And that will offer a vast platform, not only bilaterally, but also regionally and as well globally. And we agreed that the COP26 in Glasgow is so important, it's a milestone. And we have really to take a responsibility, whether we are a developing country or very well-off country like Denmark, we have to act, we have to take responsibility, and that's what we are trying to do. We have also taken note of the fact that the Arctic, as I said before, is going to create more and more economic activities. And of course, we have security coming in. We have, of course, not only the Arctic countries, but we also have countries who would like to play a role in that area. And therefore, it's so important that we have to have a proper strategy in place. And Denmark, the Kingdom of Denmark, will launch a new Arctic strategy next year. So I hope that will send some clear signals as to how we are doing and how we see Arctic. I think, as the honourable member of the House of Commons mentioned, we can take a lot of lessons from Antarctica. I think we have seen a peaceful cooperation over many years down there. And how do we go about that in an Arctic situation? The Arctic is pretty much more closer to the economic hubs of the world, and therefore we have a stronger obligation and even responsibility to find the right kind of balance and securing that we are not destroying what is our planet and in fact our Mother Earth, as they like to say it here in India. Let me say a few words about India. We are extremely pleased to have a cooperation not only within this new Green Strategic Partnership, but we have also had a number of cooperations within the scientific areas and so forth. And we think there can be a lot to do and even more can be done in the future. We are also very, very keen to secure that the two poles, that we do not forget that there's a third pole, and therefore the organizer of this conference these days has combined things in the right way. Because what's happening in the Himalaya, what's happening in the Antarctic, what happens in the Arctic will have a consequence for all of us. So water is melting across the globe. So let's work on these things. I think it's also important that we look into the scientific part of it, and therefore we're extremely happy that there will be an Arctic scientific meeting in Japan next year. And that would be so important that we can discuss not only how to benefit from cold water enzymes and all that and the fish resources, but also how we can really protect the environment, securing that this lung of our planet and the other lungs of the planet, they are not destroyed just because of economic interest and so forth. So let's hope that the scientific ministerial meeting in Tokyo next year, if it's happening, perhaps it's virtual, I don't know, that this will also bring about a kind of better understanding, insights, but also leading to a stronger responsibility, which is so important. And we have known, and the honorable member of the House of Commons also mentioned plastics, and plastics is everywhere. And you will find it in the deepest seas on the planet. We find it in Greenland. We find it everywhere. So we have really to take action. And plastic is a fantastic invention, but it has also destroyed so much that we have to really take concrete actions when that comes. Of course, I would like to state that we are from the Danish side. We are ready for a cooperation. We are looking forward to even closer collaboration, because this is not a bilateral issue. It's not a regional issue. It's a global issue. So I hope that this webinar, seminar over these days will lead to kind of common understanding, and whatever can be done in order to raise the awareness of our own responsibility. It's not just for the governments and not just for the companies or not just for Greenland or whoever is having a role. It's you and me. We have a special responsibility. So perhaps the COVID-19, after all, will bring some changing mindsets, so we will take responsibility. With these few words, I'll just conclude by saying we stand ready. We are looking into all the fields of cooperation and so forth, and we believe sincerely in the fact that cooperation across the well-off countries and the developing countries, that is really important. And therefore, this Green Strategic Partnership that was agreed yesterday is one part of it. So the climate is changing, but we should not change it more. And we should definitely not change it in the wrong direction. So it calls for individual responsibility. So once again, I thank you. It's a great honor being part of this. I wish you a happy interaction. And hopefully we'll see words and nice declarations turned into political responsibility and individual responsibility. So thank you very much indeed.